Well guys, I'm out again for another wild camp and wander. This time I'm in the spooky forest on my own. And to be honest with you, I'm not really looking forward to it. It's already getting dark. There's been a lot of things going on with this place, you know, that people are seeing things and I either believe it or you don't believe it, but people are seeing things. And I thought, well, I can't be a chicken. You know, I've got to get over this kind of phobia of coming camping on my own in certain places. You know, and what a better place to test me nerves to come back to the spooky forest somewhere in remote Northumberland. It's an old break. I'm kind of apprehensive, to be honest with you, coming here on my own. But like I say, it's something I've wanted to do for a while. And as you can see, my camp's already made up. I've been coming the last couple of weeks, just sort of building a semi-permanent shelter made from El Cheapo materials. And now I'm cheap. But I've had that much stuff gone missing out the woods from the camps I've been making. You know what I mean? I've had to use the really cheap materials. Basically, I built a hammock from one of those 1-ton dumpy bags. You've seen it before in previous videos. I got a bit of wood to stretch it across. You know, to keep it to keep it rigid. And the cordage I've used is that cheap nylon utility cordage. You can get it anywhere. It's like a marine grade, it doesn't rot. It's thin, but it's doubled up, so it's going to hold my weight. And I used a bowline knot loop there. Easy to tie, easy to get out. Looped it right round the tree, and because the whole hammock was going that way and that way, because the cordage was just sliding around the tree, I locked it into place, just looped it around, a couple of branches on each side. And I used a trucker's hitch. And I tied a half hitch in there just to make it a bit more secure. I mean, it's crude, but it's effective. I mean, I've got that old bit of foam there. That is just basically for you get under the laminate flooring, like an underlay. I've got a cheap roll mat. That's my sleeping bag in there. That's me Alpkit Sky High 700, because it is getting colder now. And I've got this lovely pink roll mat. Give a little bit of protection from the cold, which goes nicely with me blue tarp. Me El Cheapo tarp. So, El Cheapo hammock and tarp, and an El Cheapo wild camp in the spooky forest of doom. What can go wrong? On my own, miles from anywhere. In the middle of nowhere. And I've got a bit of a tarp there, just covering this end, which basically is just to sit in and maybe it's cook under. It's not perfect, it's not level, and it's not a permanent camp anyway. Got a couple of chairs there, one for me and one for a guest. Anybody wants to sneak up on us on the night and come and join us for a cup of coffee. And I've got one of them bottle gas cheap car camping style stoves. That dirt cheap. You get them and go outdoors, you get them all hour. I've got this, it's like a hobo burning, whatever you want to call it. I got it from IKEA, and it's just a cutlery holder. And I cut a little bit of a hole there so you can put the twigs in, and I kind of put some legs on it so you can just stand poked in the ground a little bit, makes it secure, and it can stand above the earth as well, and it's not going to scorch the ground. Just an idea I come up with, but it's like a little hobo style twig burner. I've got a cheap frying pan, I think it was $2.99 from B&M. Cheap and cheerful. This cook set, I've had it for years, hardly used it. It's got like a lid which you can use as a frying pan if need be, but I mean I've got this, so I don't really need it. It's got a kettle and 2 pots, so any amount of cookware for me. And I've got a cup in there, I've got a multi-tool, I've got washing up liquid, I've got a couple of Brillo pads just for cleaning the pots and that, because I always burn me food when I cook it. But I know some people are going to unsubscribe when they see this, like, because they're going to think I've gone soft in my old age. Glamping in the middle, El Cheapo glamping in the middle of the forest, somewhere in Northumbrian. In a spooky place, Northumbrian, what can go wrong? Camping on your own, a bit of wild camping. What can I say, guys? Get out and do a bit of wild camping, you know it makes sense. You know it makes sense. Get out and do a bit of wild camping. And you can hear nothing. Not even a bird. There's no wind. That's why I picked the night. It is forecast to rain, but just a light shower. So I brought the field recorder. Listen to the sounds of the forest. And one of the reasons why I wanted to come on my own for a while, I do come camping with our friends, but the problem is when we do like research, like recording and stuff like that, I review the audio the next day and there's noises, there's cracks and breaks, and I'm thinking, was that something, or was that just back at camp? Was that one of the guys breaking a stick? And I thought, well, why not just do a couple of wild camps on my own? You know, if there's any sounds or strange activity there, I know it's me. It can't be anybody else because I'm in the middle of nowhere. I'm basically miles from anywhere really. There is a village further down, but it's a very small village. Nobody comes in here after dark. Nobody crazy like me. And now it's getting dark, like, and a bit hard to film, but just thought I'd go for a wander, as you do in the dark, in a spooky forest. That tree bit looks old, like. That's right next to it. It's kind of like it's been dragged and left there, isn't it? It hasn't. I can't see which tree it's come off, so it's been moved and just left there. And that's right next to this tree. You should always keep an open mind in a place like this. I'm dazzling myself. I can't see where I'm going. All because I want to get the shot. In fact, it's just dangerous, man. Trying to film myself like this when it's getting dark. It's eerie. I don't know where I'm putting my feet. And I'm basically wandering away from camp. And if I'm not careful, I'll get lost. It's one of them places, you know, if you wander too far off the beaten track, every tree looks the same. And it's so easy to get disorientated. In fact, I've walked around here in a complete circle before. I'm just out for a wander. I came across this. You know, I thought it was a small tree, a sapling or whatever, but I thought what a strange place for it to be growing. That stick has just been pushed into there. That's an owl, by the way. I mean, what's the chance of that falling from the trees and just sort of landing and sticking in the ground? It's not going to happen. Just more unusual things with this place. Makes you wonder, doesn't it? You know, somebody stuck that in there, something with hands. Could be somebody messing with us. Out here in the middle of nowhere. Well, I'm going to have something to eat because it's getting cold. 6 o'clock at night, need some food in my belly, and I'm going to get an early night. I'm just going to lie in my sleeping bag where it's warm and just listen to the sounds of the forest. Gone a bit up market. I kind of find a look what we found meatballs, so I've gone for Lidl's 45p. Which part of the animal meatballs are these from? I don't know. It's not the best stuff, by the way, but it tastes nice. So they must have lots of preservatives in, or must have something in that makes it taste nice. So it's all the lips and eyebrows apparently, but who cares if it tastes nice and it doesn't stick in your throat and not kill you. Then I've got some instant mash. I've got some butter to put in there as well. Salt and pepper from courtesy of McDonald's. And I'm cooking on me posh, on a Carlet like portable gas stove. A little bit of glamping in the forest. And this is me little sitting area, utility area, whatever you want to call it. That's me camp. And that's the spooky forest out there. It's pitch black here, like. Turn the lights off, you can't see a thing. I've got a torch here, a couple of little camping lanterns. And it's going to be a really boring night if I just sit around here getting cold. So basically, like, just eat, because a good hearty meal will keep you warm through the night. Temperatures tonight are due to go down to about 5 degrees Celsius. Not that cold really, you know, it's not going to be a hard frost or anything. But, you know, with me being the warm weather wanderer, you know, I didn't want to get cold. It's as simple as that. Oh no, I'm just feeding the trolls, aren't I? Never mind. It's nice to have a little bit of I wouldn't say luxury. It's just nice to be able to just flick a switch and you've got instant flame for cooking. I suppose I am getting a bit soft in my old age. Actually, I don't feel that bad being here on my own. Now I've got you guys to talk to. Everything seems a little bit, well, I wouldn't say I'm scared, but it's just eerie. It's just, I think what it is, if you, places like this, if you think too hard, you know, the imagination is a funny thing and it can play tricks with you, your mind, you know. So easy to freak yourself out. So it's best not to think of it. Probably doing everything the wrong way around here, like buttering first. Probably easier to mix it, I suppose. I get my salt and pepper in. And I won't think I don't get much pepper in there. I'm going to be a top chef one day. Not. I'm all about convenience. Honestly, I'm not one for showing off, like. And then we'll get them bad boy meatballs in. Meal fit for a king. But I've had these before, and I tell you it is, they're cheap and cheerful, but they taste nice. I've heard a lot of stories over the years about strange goings on, and you can believe what you hear or don't believe what you hear, but one of the biggest mysteries for me is if there is anything like living in these forests that hasn't been discovered, and I'm talking about like an unknown primate, a hominid, how would they stay undetected? You know, what would they eat? And I've come to a conclusion. I think there's a paranormal aspect of it. I know some like really well-respected researchers that wouldn't lie in their testimony, you know, what they've seen, these things appearing and disappearing at will, you know, coming from some kind of other dimension, a portal, or it just seems so strange and way out there that who's going to believe them? And you know, who would believe that? You know, why would anybody want to admit that? I found a footprint. No, it was just a footprint on its own. No, it just didn't make sense. A footprint in the middle of nowhere, next to a stream, well off the beaten track. You know, who would make it? You know, and then like just on the off chance somebody might walk through and discover it. Take a trip down the rabbit hole. The more I kind of research it, the more things don't seem to make sense. Why would this, somebody tells you something, so why would they lie about this? Why would somebody say it had glowing red eyes when they didn't need to say this creature had glowing red eyes? Why create that level of scepticism when you're telling somebody, because people are going to think that's so ludicrous, that's so way out there. Why would somebody add that into the equation and make it seem more unbelievable when they don't have to make it that unbelievable? They could just make something else up. So up to now, and I've been kind of doing a little bit of research off and on for the last couple of years, and I'm just being honest with you, I haven't seen anything strange, like any sort of creature or anything like that, but I have seen, like I say, footprints, tree breaks and sticks stuck in the ground, that sort of thing, just things that are a little bit out of the ordinary, but I haven't had a proper sighting. So, and I'm just basically after answers. But I do think, like I said, there was a otherworldly, there is a paranormal aspect of it. I'm gonna set my field recorder up now, my audio recorder, and I'm gonna just get in my sleeping bag. I'm just gonna lie there. Hopefully I'll chat to you soon. I'll see you tomorrow morning. If I'm still here, I'm not abducted. Morning. Well, I'm still here. Had a lovely sleep, mate. It was so eerie and quiet last night. Although at one point, I think it was about 1 o'clock in the morning, it sounded like a flock of geese, but it doesn't seem to be flying over the top. It seems to be coming from, I don't know where they'll come from, because sound bounces around the trees, but it seemed lower down. Unless it was in the distance and they were flying over, but they seem to be in the same place. It seemed to last for a while, so I don't know if there's a pond nearby or something, but I'll search for the audio and I'll edit it in, because it was a little bit unusual. I'm lying in my Alp Kit Sky High 700. Really good sleeping bag. Good to go down to -6 degrees Celsius. That's its comfort rating. It'll go down a bit further than that, like, but that's like its limit, and you are feeling the cold, which I think is adequate. A bag that size, that rating for here in the UK. Being a warm weather wanderer, I'm not gonna go out in -20. You should know that by now. I'm getting soft in my old age, aren't I? Gone for a pillow. Well, you know, a bit of luxury, why not? And I'm in my British Army bivvy, so I'm totally protected from the elements. And this is something you should think about as well. If you're going to buy an expensive sleeping bag, get a sleeping bag liner as well. You don't want to be washing it every 5 minutes. You prolong the life of your bag if you use a liner, and plus it's an extra layer, isn't it? And that's my field recorder, the Zoom H6, fantastic bit of kit that, like. And I had that running until about 9 o'clock this morning, running off this battery bank. The batteries in there are usually chargeables, and that you'll get an hour or so out of them. You know, if you want to run all night, you've got to have lithium or alkaline. But that, on the 32 gig memory card, it'll run on the highest setting, which is 96 kilohertz 24-bit. That'll basically run for 14 hours. So you need a battery bank. This is the anchor. And I've used that for my smartphone. It'll charge me smartphone loads of times. Like, I've had a GoPro and a smartphone charging off that. The GoPro running all night. And it's just, you know, it's a decent bit of kit. What can I say? It's got a torch on as well. And a quick look around. Now it's daylight. Everything isn't as spooky. It's actually a beautiful place, this, you know, so quiet, so tranquil. Couple of unusual things here. That end of the tree snapped off. Comes down to here and it's snapped off again. I can see where that's come off up there, about 30 foot up, like. Could have been the wind perhaps. Would the wind have snapped it again at the bottom, or could have been people walking through. Even though I'm well off the beaten track. I mean, that could have been something, could have been pushed over and then it's been gnawed on, or is it just rot? Could it be like, I don't know, woodworm or something, or has a deer been munching at the bark? It's funny how one branch goes that way and one goes that way. I mean, I found on my previous visits up here, I found other things I'll edit it in, but you know, that's this thing here, man. It's just like bent over. Unusual. And it's kind of broken in the middle as well. So it's been bent over and snapped. Maybe it's the force of bending over that did that. And have you seen how that's just been? That's been pushed in there, hasn't it? That's been laying in first. And then this bit here, it's just been pushed over the top, hasn't it? And it's locked it in. Got another two broken branches going that way. Strange, if there was wind damage in here, why is it only that one tree affected? Nothing else around. That just doesn't happen by accident, does it? I mean, that one pushed over there, and you've got another one coming that way. It's like a structure. Both broken at the base. That's just been wedged into there, you know. It looks like it's come off one of those trees up there. I mean, that could be natural. Things, I don't know. I guess I'm trying to rationalise things. So a nice place to come camping, eh? You know it makes sense. Come to a place like this and get freaked out. Oh, got someone up there, like something interesting. Quite a few breaks here. I'm gonna have to be careful because I've left my phone, which has got me GPS. Yeah, I'm gonna get lost here if I'm not careful. Need to find my way back. But for me, it's just so intriguing walking around and just finding all these different breaks and that. Two sticks, both bent or broken and crossed over like that. Funny how they interlock, isn't it? Well, I hope you've enjoyed it. Hope you've seen a few things, unusual things perhaps, you know, make your mind up. You know, decide for yourselves what you think about this place. Is it people breaking these trees, or is it natural? Is it the wind, or is it something else? You decide. Right, I'll get away. I'll catch us all in the next one. Get up and do a bit of wild camping, you know it makes sense. Boosh.